Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jasmine, and today's video is going to be an interesting one because I'm going to be reacting to someone else's reaction to my video. Love that for me, and I'm gonna angle y'all a little bit up close and personal. So, one of my subscribers, I think I mentioned it in like the maybe second to last video I uploaded, and basically someone sent me a video, I guess, of this man who reacted to one of my like random story times where I was talking about like a really disrespectful message I got from a man. And let me tell y'all, I never expected someone to watch it and react to it the way this man did. And he specifically seems to be a YouTuber whose content seems to be geared towards, I guess, just bashing women. Now, to be quite honest, majority of my videos on my channel are not about men, are not about my opinions about dating. Most of my content is pretty random, but he watched one video and decided he knew everything about me as a person, as a woman, what I do, what I post, what I share. He just projected a whole lot of things I never said I never did. I was gonna wear my glasses, but the glare from my ring light is a little much, so we're just gonna keep them off. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to, I don't want to link the actual video because I honestly don't want to give this person a view. The entire video is pretty much him bashing me, berating me for all of his followers, and then the comments were just them doing the same thing. I will say though, however, some of the comments is just like, okay, I get it. It's rude when I post videos talking and eating. Probably a lot of people don't want to see that, and I do have a tendency to smack. So that's not something that really bothers me. I understand it for some people. And the real thing is, I post on this channel at random times. Not every video I make is just this like really super thought out video. I was literally sharing a personal experience I had that I found annoying and just wanted to share the story time, and it got on pretty much the wrong side of YouTube. I ended up on MGTOW YouTube. So let's get into it. I wrote a lot of notes. We have quite a few pages. I had like a whole 4 pages after like the first minute because he literally just made so little sense. So let's just get into it. So the original video I posted, I don't even remember all the circumstances. I was at my mom's house, and I was sharing the story of like this disrespectful message I got from someone on a dating app, and was just saying how I didn't appreciate being sexually objectified. And this man immediately pretty much jumps to the assumption that I was posting revealing pictures of myself on the dating app, and that's why this man commented, which is not true. I no longer have the app. I don't use dating apps. And the honest truth is, which I've made videos about, like, I don't get on dating apps expecting to find a husband. I've said multiple times I prefer to meet someone in real life organically, but I'm also not really focused on dating at this point in my life. It's not my main focus. I'm still working on myself. There's a lot of other issues in my life that I know I need to prioritize, so I'm not really focused on dating. However, every now and then I would be like, I'm a little curious, maybe I should try. You know, I go a little bit back and forth between like wanting to try, and also for me, being on a dating app was not like this huge deal. I used to get on dating apps all the time back in college. I thought they were fun, good ways to meet people, but I actually have never really tried to date someone off of dating apps. I feel like it's actually really hard to connect with someone on a dating app because you can't really see their personality that well. And then I feel like you can only really message so well. Like, I definitely prefer meeting people in person and organically. So that was the first assumption he made. He also, the entire video seemed to be pointing out the fact that I had cleavage. So the basic entire video, he's sexualizing me while telling me, no man sexualizes me. Interesting. But anyways, my first point is, let me see. Okay, the first like 5 pages are, there's just so much I went into without it. Let me just go to the points I made. So he was mad about what I was eating, focusing what I ate, really had nothing to say about what I said, but was focusing on my body pretty much the entire video. I guess in the beginning of the video, I leaned over enough where you could see a little bit of cleavage. And this is the part, I don't sexually objectify myself. So me having a little bit of cleavage is not a huge issue to me because I don't sexualize myself. I literally see my body every day. I don't view myself as a sexual object. But I also am not, I wouldn't think, in my opinion, that I was wearing this overly sexual outfit that made it seem like I was just seeking sexual attention from men. And I feel like he literally missed the entire point of my video, which is me saying I always get sexualized by men because my boobs are big or I have a bigger chest. And for some reason, I typically don't wear, I don't really wear revealing clothing, in my opinion. But according to him, I must be putting my whole body out there. And I take pictures with my chest up. Which, by the way, I show full body pictures on my dating apps. Like, I am not ashamed of my body the way a lot of these men want me to be. And at the end of the day, a lot of these men just hate fat women and project whatever insecurities they have about themselves onto bigger woman. It doesn't necessarily bother me that a man is not attracted to me because of my weight. Like, that's their issue, not mine. I don't really care. But he seemed to be focused more so about like my weight and just calling out the fact that I'm bigger. He claimed I was 400 pounds in his entire video, which I kind of just laughed at that part. That didn't really bother me. He said something along the lines of, men are only disrespectful and sexualizing me because of my size. I don't know. Maybe that could be true, and I probably could be because, again, a lot of men don't respect women or only respect women based off of their appearance. So if there is a woman they don't think is conventionally attractive, which would apply for, I guess, someone my size, they're going to say, oh, well, the only reason a man could be interested in you is for sex. So therefore, you're only ever going to get sexual attention from men because that's the only interest a man would have in you because you're fat, essentially is what he said. Personally, I know a lot of women of all sizes who get disrespectful messages from men. So I don't agree with that idea that you have to be big to be disrespected, but I definitely agree that a lot of men are more comfortable disrespecting women who are bigger, which is literally your entire video. You are the man that I'm referring to. You are the very thing I'm describing in my entire video. You are the type of man who thinks it's okay to disrespect a woman because of her size, because of her appearance, because you don't find her physically attractive. Therefore, you now have the right to disrespect, berate, and belittle her as a person. That is not my issue. That is yours. The fact that you don't understand that just because you're not physically attracted to someone doesn't mean it's okay to berate, belittle, put them down, disrespect them. That is a you problem, not a me problem. Moving on. literally, he just seemed like he was mad my entire video. And I literally said, if I made you that mad, why did you continue watching my video? Like, every moment he would pause over something I said that he didn't like. If my video pissed you off that much, why did you keep watching it? Also, I said something like, throughout the video, he kept bringing up the fact that I had a little bit of cleavage in the beginning. And I'm like, you're literally sexualizing me throughout my entire video by bringing up the fact that I had a little bit of cleavage in the beginning. Like, if my cleavage bothers you, sexually frustrates you that much, that's all you can focus on. Again, that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. Like, is cleavage really that sexual to you? Anyways, what next? So in the story time, I talked about how the man who had messaged me, basically his bio had said looking for a wife. Now, he made the assumption that I actually believed he was looking for a wife. It's not even necessarily that. It's just like, why would you put that and then be one of the more disrespectful men? Like, I've gotten messages from people who don't have anything decent in, like, nothing in their bio. And, like, the fact that you're putting something like you're looking for a wife, but that's how you're talking. He also doesn't even know what dating app I was using. So his assumption that I was on a dating app, like, looking for hookups or whatever, is actually wild. Because that's not something I do. And the only reason I even mentioned what his bio said was to call out the irony of him having that in his bio, and then the message he sent me being so obviously disrespectful. Like, why pretend like you have any type of intention of being, like, in a relationship? Also, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, of course, I'm not gonna just blindly agree because someone put something in their bio that they actually mean what they say. I judge people according to their actions, not their words. He kept mentioning pretty much that the only reason a man would be interested in me is for sex. And I literally, like, he literally was agreeing with my point, but acting like I wasn't making a point. Because the fact that I'm saying throughout my video what he said at the beginning, and he's still acting like I did something or said something wrong. There's a lot of men who are literally only on dating apps for the purpose of sex, which I said in my video. He said at the beginning of the video, but then when I say it, he's acting like, oh, of course, you saying this is so obvious because it's not for all women, it's just because you're fat. You're fat, you're fat, you're fat. Like I said, he seemed to just be really bothered by my weight. And I guess I was eating in the video, which maybe was distracting, but I'm not eating now. So hope you pay attention and listen if you're watching this, which who knows if he'll watch this video. Then in the video, I mentioned responding to this man, and he just assumed I was responding to continue talking to him when I was responding to go off on him and be like, you stop being disrespectful. And that was the last thing I was going to say to him. And typically, yes, I would just unmatch, block, delete, whatever. I typically actually do not respond to disrespectful messages. I would just unmatch, block, delete, whatever. I just decided I was so annoyed and angry at the time. I was like, I'm going to put this man in his place, which I did. And then he unmatched me, which was what I would have done regardless. But I wanted to make him as uncomfortable as his message made me, basically. And that was my response, not because I wanted more attention from him. He also claimed there is no way I would be able to meet a man in person. Not sure why that matters. I mean, again, his assumption, projection of pretty much fat women just being so unattractive, no man wants them, whatever. Like, okay, that's your opinion. I honestly think I've just come to realize, like, I'm not gonna say all men, but there's some men who really have just a insane amount of hate for fat women. Like, their hatred for fat women is so irrational in my opinion, because I'm like, do you hate fat men? Like, it's not that they actually hate that people are fat, because they don't have this energy for men who are fat, for men who are overweight. They mainly have this energy for, it seems like, women. And I honestly feel like it's a projection of their attraction to overweight women, but they don't want to admit that they're attracted, and so they project it as hatred. That's the only thing that I can rationalize from my psychology degree, but it really is just so irrational. Like, if you don't like a woman who's overweight, you don't have to date them, you don't have to talk to them. But for you to have so much hate and disrespect for someone just because of their size, because that's the main thing he focused on in my video, was my weight, what I was eating, making all of these fat jokes, whatever, seemed to be his main focus. He also, like I said earlier, assumed I wasn't covered in my pictures on the website, which I was. I wasn't showcasing my chest for attention. And it's just like, he watched one video on my channel and pretty much tried to assume my character, which is what happens when you don't actually know someone. I literally have never sought sexual attention from men. I have never wanted to be sexually objectified by a man. Having cleavage doesn't mean I'm asking a man to sexualize me. A man inability to view a woman as more than an object because of his lustful sexual desires for her is not my problem. That's that man's problem. Like, if you see a little bit of cleavage and somehow think you get to disrespect that woman and objectify her and call her all these whatever, is your problem. And it really is just showcasing the fact that these men struggle with lust and probably pornography addictions. Anyways, he said no one is attracted to someone who is bigger, or the only time someone is going to be attracted is because they only have interest in sex. And I don't necessarily think that is false. Like I said before, I do think, unfortunately, because a lot of men have this idea that a conventionally attractive woman has to be a certain size and look a certain way, that it's okay to disrespect a woman who's bigger, and also believe that a woman being bigger means that they're easier, and therefore they only use them for sex, which, by the way, I don't sleep around. So I'm also very aware that a lot of men's intentions are only for sex. That's why I don't give those men my attention or time of day. And then he got mad. I said I'm not the average woman. And I said I wasn't the average woman, not based off of my appearance, based off of my mentality. Like I said, I really don't care about male validation. I don't really care about men being interested in me. Whether a man likes me or not is not my biggest issue in life. I literally made a video talking about the annoying message I got, and that made you think that somehow I get on dating apps for attention and XYZ. He said was assuming I liked men who were being disrespectful to me. Not at all. That's actually my biggest pet peeve. I actually do not respect men who don't respect women. And watching your videos, I can clearly tell you don't respect women. Or, like a lot of men, you only respect women that you personally find attractive. Because the fact that you can get online on your YouTube channel and bash a stranger you don't know based solely and mostly off of her looks and size and appearance says a lot more about you and your character than it does mine. Next. He said it took me 33 tries to figure out men's intention. Not at all. Like I said, men are pretty easy to read. It's very easy to tell a man's intentions in about the first couple of messages they send you. I also don't respond to any of the messages I've gotten on dating apps, which I mentioned in other videos. He hasn't watched any of my other videos. And to be quite honest, most of my videos on my channel are literally not even about dating. I make fashion videos, beauty videos, makeup videos, haul videos, singing videos. Like, majority of the videos on my channel are not me even talking about my dating life. I mentioned dating in a couple videos on my channel, maybe more than a few, but I have over 500 videos on my channel. I don't know how many of them are about dating, but I mostly just talk about my personal life, personal struggles, personal issues. It's not like my entire YouTube channel is dedicated to me talking about my bad experiences on dating apps. What else? I really felt like he was projecting that I was sexualizing myself because he was sexualizing me in the entire video. Like, literally, man could not focus as after he saw the little bit of cleavage. It was just like, oh, you sexualize yourself. You always show off your body. You do all these things. Most videos on my channel, I'm wearing sweats. I'm in a t-shirt. My hair's not done. I'm not wearing makeup. I typically look a hot mess in half of my videos on my channel. Welcome. I do not care about looking a certain way, and I'm definitely not going out of my way to make myself attractive to men like you. And last but not least, I really just feel like he mostly had something to say about my body. And really, it seemed like he was sexualizing me the entire video while telling me I was sexualizing myself, which I find ironic. Like I said, he was projecting a lot of things. I don't know. I think he represents the average man. Maybe, honestly, I hope he doesn't represent the average man. I hope most men don't think or act like him. He really seems to be maybe miserable in his life, that all he does is react to women he doesn't like and doesn't find attractive on his channel. And he seems very superficial. He cares mostly about looks and the size of a woman, more so than the character and heart of that person. What else did I say? I said, as a woman, I can't control how men view my body. Therefore, I will not degrade my view of myself to men's lustful desires about my body. Like, literally telling me because a man objectifies me, that means I must be objectifying myself. I don't objectify myself. I don't look at myself like a sexual object. Men do that to women and then project that that woman is objectifying herself or wants sexual attention because they have a lust problem. And that's another story. I really just said his lack of respect for women is probably based around his lustful heart and spirit. His video is full of a lot of assumptions and projections. I really don't care whether men are attracted to me. Yeah. I also said a man's inability to look at a woman without lust is a personal problem, not the woman's problem. A lot of the men who struggle with lust are addicted to pornography, go out of their way to degrade women online. And then I'm going to end with this. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything that I thought was important. There's a lot more I could say that I'm just going to keep this shorter and sweet. I did say in the first few minutes, maybe I should just read through everything. In the first few minutes of the video, he mentioned my cleavage, and I said, if you are so sexually frustrated by the smallest bit of cleavage, that the smallest bit of cleavage makes you feral, you need to seek counseling and therapy for your lustful spirit. I said, as a bigger chested woman, it is nearly impossible to hide my bosom. I did spend years trying to hide my chest because the attention I got made me so uncomfortable, which is very true. I spent most of my young adult, teen, early teens, college wearing baggy t-shirts and sweatshirts, and somehow people were still commenting on my body. So yeah. He also assumed that I don't dress modest, which is wild because I'm a Christian. I definitely don't want to put provocative images of myself out there. Now, I feel like this is where I have to say something, because even if I don't view myself or what I'm wearing as provocative, I can't control how someone else decides to view my body. For the most part, I don't go out the house. I don't like feeling exposed when I leave my house. Like, I'm always mindful of it, but I also think too, like, what might not be a lot for me might be a lot for someone else. And so it just gets to this really, like, it's very subjective what someone will say is not modest or is immodest versus or cleavage or sexual. And it's just like, I can't control what someone else thinks is sexual on me. But for the most part, like I said, I'm wearing t-shirts, sweatshirts. If I do wear a dress, and like I said, this is why I was saying, like, having a bigger chest makes it harder to really hide, because it's like either I have to constantly walk around in baggy t-shirts and a sweater for someone to tell me I'm modest enough. And it's just like, you really can't win in that situation, it honestly feels like. But I honestly do try to dress more modest because I don't like getting sexual attention from men. I never said I was looking for love on dating apps. That was the other thing he assumed. I've been on literally 3 dates in my entire life. Only one was from a dating app, and that was when I was 18, 19. I was in college. I was young and dumb and would never do that again. I mentioned how I prefer to meet men in person so that I can learn their personality and character. However, I'm not actively even trying to date right now, so I'm not even looking for a man. And I said I don't believe most men on dating apps have good intentions, which is why I don't take dating apps seriously. And I mentioned how I get bored sometimes, curious to see what's out there, and I get on a dating app and then quickly see, like, okay, I'm not missing anything, delete it again. It's literally not that serious. I talked about how, I said this already, I actually prefer to dress more modest due to the unwanted sexual attention I received from men. And I talk about my annoyance. I think being bigger or curvier, you do get more sexualized for the clothing that you wear, and a lot more of clothing a curvier person wears is going to be deemed more inappropriate because of the size of their curves. And basically, he fell right into my point where I said viewing a woman as an object because they have curves, and telling that woman, basically, I'm sexualizing myself because I have a bigger chest, whatever. And then his whole entire video, it seemed like, and it's just like, oh, unless I am completely covered up, I guess that means I don't respect myself. That means I'm sexualizing myself if I have a little bit of cleavage showing. Obviously, I want that attention. Like, that's basically the assumption he made. And I said men's inability to look at women without lust is a personal problem. Seek help from Jesus. That's like, the spirit of lust is strong, I feel like, in his videos and probably in his supporters. And I also did say I'd love to see the woman he likes on social media, because something tells me he's not liking the most modestly dressed woman. I would not assume that based off of how he presents himself in his videos. The only way you can respect a woman. I basically was talking about, like, the issue of men who struggle with lust, sexually objectifying a woman's body, like, basically pointing out how I'm dressed in order to negate the issue of men who struggle with lust consistently, constantly sexually objectifying women's bodies by claiming the only way they can respect a woman is if she's covered from head to toe, points to a deeply rooted lust issue, because if you can't control your sexual desires and have a lack of self-control, if you see the slightest bit of skin, that's just points to you having a problem with lust and a lack of self-control. Not necessarily that women just need to cover themselves up. Maybe you should learn to respect women, or like the Bible says, gouge your eyes out if you can't control yourself. I mentioned this already. As a woman, I can't control how a man views my body. Therefore, I will not degrade my view of myself to men's lustful desires about my body. Like I said, that's basically just saying, like, if I can't control the way someone else chooses to see me, I'm not going to create or degrade my view of myself to what a lustful man thinks of me, or a lustful man's desires of my body. I also mentioned how a lot of predators will use, the way a woman is dressed as an excuse for objectifying women, which leads to, other things. And I think I mentioned all these other things. So I'm going to end with the last things I made, which are the do's and don'ts of men who respect women, because let's see if he follows any of these. Let's see if we can say that you are a man who respects women. Probably not. And I don't think you care that you don't respect women, which is probably the biggest problem. I said men who respect women don't objectify them, don't make hate pages about women, and don't make their entire page about bashing women. And the men who respect women do, what men who respect women do is they protect women, provide for women, make sacrifices for women that they love, and I forgot a don't. They don't lust after women. Men who respect women don't lust after them. And then I really just said it seems like his biggest issue with me was my weight, which I don't care. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. My whole response to his video is basically just, if you don't have something nice to say, you could be quiet. But at the end of the day, this is a random person. He doesn't know me. I take everything he said about me with a grain of salt. I do not change my perspective of myself based off of what one person. There was like 800 plus comments of people pretty much bashing me. At one point in the video, he calls for the men to judge me based off of my appearance. And you know what? I feel like the average person would maybe cry watching that video. But for some reason, I just laughed the whole time. Because it's just so, like, it's not really funny that this man has an entire page bashing women, essentially. I'm drinking water, by the way, for anyone who cares. And then at one point he mentioned, the fact that you're eating pizza, I would respect you more if you were eating a salad. But anyways, I really just feel like you have to take people like that opinion with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, who is this man that I should even respect anything he has to say about me, that I should care about anything he says about me? This is not a person I would be interested in dating. This is not someone who I would seek any type of advice for my dating life from. So at the end of the day, I listened to it, watched it with a grain of salt. I don't feel like he made any really great points. And then some of the points that he tried to make, I made myself in my video, and he kind of just brushed over the fact that I said them, or tried to mock me for saying the exact same thing he had said, but later in the video, because he acted as if I wasn't aware of men's bad intentions, men not having the best intentions with women on dating apps. Assuming that I believed what a lot of men have to say on dating apps, assuming I was looking on dating apps for a husband or dating serious, taking them seriously. You know, he made a lot of assumptions, projected a lot of things, continued sexualizing my body throughout the video, while also claiming who would sexualize my body? You're the one doing it. Yeah. Work on the lust, seek help, seek God, seek Jesus at the end of the day. And yeah, I think I was the right one to make this video about, because I'm not someone who holds men's opinion of me as being the highest thing or what I'm mostly concerned about. I do not center my life around men, and I'm not saying this because I'm like some ultra feminist or something. I really just don't live my life to please men. I live my life to please God. I live my life to serve God, but I don't hold the opinions, especially of men who don't respect me, to be the most meaningful thing about me. Like, whether you like me, whether you're attracted from me, you calling me fat in about 10,000 different ways, or in all the ways that you could have, was what? To hurt my feelings? I don't care. I'm aware of my size. It doesn't matter. And I feel like a lot of these men who have issues with women who are overweight are really projecting. I don't know what they're projecting, but they're projecting a lot of things because they believe a woman being fat makes her unworthy of love, unworthy of respect, unworthy of, like, it just seems like anything good is what it came off as. It's almost like you think a woman being fat means she can't have standards or respect for herself. At the end of the day, I've talked a lot on my page about, you know, my struggles losing weight, my desires to restart my fitness journey and stuff like that. But I am not centering why I need to lose weight or why I want to lose weight around wanting a man to like me. Because at the end of the day, if I would not date these men, whether I was 300 or 400 pounds, as he insinuated, or if I was 100 pounds, I would still not want any of these men, any of the men on his page who follow him, to subscribe to him. I'm sure they don't want me, and I don't care either. Because like I said, I'm not interested in even dating anyone right now. But I don't hold the opinions of random people higher than my own, or higher than the way God views me. So yeah, if you don't respect women, I don't respect you. So that pretty much sums up how much respect I have for him, which is very little. You don't get respect for bashing someone for their appearance, for attacking someone's character, for making a bunch of assumptions. You know, if the best you can do is just belittle and berate someone because you don't have anything nice to say to them, that's not a me issue, that's a you issue. Your character is showing. Your lack of respect, care, concern for other people shows. And like I said, you can hate me, you can call me fat, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't change how I view or how I feel about myself. All right, bye guys.